Look, I get it. If you've been watching XRP lately, it's been tough, to say the least. The price action has been really discouraging. But what if that feeling, that bearishness, is actually a trap? What if staying on the sidelines right now means you miss everything that's coming next? Let's dive in.
I mean, you don't have to be a charting genius to see it, right? It's just this classic ugly downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, all that momentum we were hoping for, poof, gone. It's completely understandable why so many people have just given up hope on a breakout.
But here's the thing. What if that's the whole point? What if this ugly bearish mess is actually the last trap, the final shakeout designed to get you out right before the entire narrative flips on its head? Let's break down what's really going on behind the curtain.
To really get a grip on where we might be headed, we first have to understand why this past year has been so brutal for the market. And the answer, really, it all comes down to one critical factor: a massive liquidity squeeze. Okay, so let's talk about liquidity. Just think of it like the lifeblood of the market, right? It's the fuel that keeps the whole engine running. When there's plenty of it, trades are smooth, prices are stable, things grow. But when that fuel gets drained, the engine just sputters and stalls. Prices sell off. And let me tell you, this year, that tank has been running on fumes. And this wasn't just one bad day. Take a look at this. It was a year-long assault. It started with the trade war fears from January to April, just wiping out liquidity. Then, just when you thought it was over, the summer rolls around and boom, more tariff talk. Fast forward to the fall, you get a government shutdown that goes on for over 40 days, squeezing things even tighter. And the final nail in the coffin? October 10th. Major market makers just went bust, sucking the very last bit of life out of the market. It was just relentless. But, okay, that's the rearview mirror. Now we're staring at December, and things could be about to get really, really interesting. We've got two massive catalysts on the horizon that look poised to refill that empty tank. And this is the crucial part. It's this 1-2 punch combo for liquidity. First up, on December 1st, the Fed is finally ending its quantitative tightening, QT. That's the process where they've been actively pulling money out of the system. So step one is they stop doing that. Then, just a few days later, on December 10th, we have the FOMC meeting, which could signal that rate cuts are coming. Both of these things are designed to do one thing: pump liquidity right back into the markets.
So you might be asking, with this big macro shift potentially coming, who's getting ready to pounce? Well, that brings us to our first huge piece of evidence: the big boys. Institutional money is lining up, and their weapon of choice is the exchange-traded fund, the ETF. And we're not talking about some small trend here. We're looking at more than 11 Spot XRP ETFs that are either already launching or they're in the pipeline waiting for approval. This is literally the superhighway for serious institutional capital to flood into XRP, and that highway is opening up right now. And just look at the names getting involved. We've got 21 shares. They manage over $8 billion in assets, launching their ETF on December 1st. You got CoinShares, WisdomTree. But honestly, it's the list of potential filers that should really make you sit up and pay attention. BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck. I mean, come on, these are the absolute titans of traditional finance, and they're all turning their massive gaze toward XRP. And here's how you know this isn't just a bunch of paperwork. You can see it on chain. The data shows that XRP reserves on major exchanges like Binance are plummeting. Now, what does that tell you? It's a classic signal that big players, very likely these institutions, are buying up all the available XRP and pulling it off the market into cold storage. They're getting their positions set before the floodgates open. They're accumulating big time. Okay, so we've got the macro picture changing. We've got the institutional money moving in. But there's a third crucial piece to this puzzle: sentiment. The entire story, the narrative around XRP, is shifting. And it's shifting because some of its biggest, most vocal critics are suddenly changing their tune. I mean, this is a huge, huge signal. You have publications like Cointelegraph, who, let's be honest, have been notoriously bearish, if not outright hostile, to XRP for years. And now, all of a sudden, they're posting bullish content. They're highlighting positive on-chain data, talking about bullish price targets. When the media sentiment flips this hard, this fast, you know something is up. And it's not just Cointelegraph. Look at this. Famed trader Peter Brandt, the guy who was famously bearish right before XRP went on that insane 2017 bull run, he's now bullish again. He's literally saying he sees a similar setup forming right now.
When you see these key market commentators do a complete 180, that's historically a very, very big deal. All right, so let's put it all together. Liquidity is coming back, institutions are buying, and the biggest bears are turning into bulls. So, what does the path forward actually look like? Let's dive into the charts and map out the key levels you need to be watching. But before we get into the specific price targets, just try this little thought experiment with me. Pull up the XRP chart, and then invert it. Flip it upside down. All of a sudden, that terrifying bearish downtrend, it looks like a beautiful, healthy consolidation before a massive pump, doesn't it? It's amazing what happens when you just change your perspective. Okay, so here's the game plan. Here is the bullish roadmap. The first major hurdle is flipping that May high, which is sitting around $2.45. That's step one. After that, the really critical level is reclaiming 274. That used to be massive support, and getting back above it would be huge. If we can clear those two levels, then the path really opens up to target the January high near 340. And from there, we push for the cycle's all-time high just beyond that. So, I'll just leave you with this question. With liquidity looking like it's about to come roaring back, with the biggest institutions in the world quietly buying in, and with the loudest bears suddenly turning into bulls, you really have to ask yourself, when every single person is bearish, when everyone is looking down, where is the real opportunity?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.